Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're talking about something that's crucial for anyone who uses a solid-state drive, or SSD, in their Windows 11 PC. We all know how much faster and more responsive SSDs are compared to traditional hard drives, but there's one catch. SSDs wear out over time. So in today's video, we'll be covering how to extend your SSD's lifespan on Windows 11 with some easy tips and tweaks. Let's dive right in. You can configure a few Windows 11 options to prevent certain data from being written to the drive, like turning off hibernation. Turning off hibernation can indeed help extend the lifespan of your SSD, especially if you're concerned about unnecessary writes to the drive. When hibernation is enabled, Windows creates a file that saves the contents of your RAM to disk, which can be quite large, especially with modern systems that have a lot of RAM. This process results in additional write operations, which over time can wear down the SSD. Just run this command to disable hibernation. You can also enable it later if you want by running this command. You can also disable the paging file. Disabling the paging file, also known as the swap file, can reduce the number of write operations to your SSD, but it's generally not recommended unless you have a very specific use case. The paging file is used by Windows to manage virtual memory when your RAM is full, and it can be quite helpful for system stability and performance, especially on systems with less RAM. If you have 8 gigabytes of RAM and less, do not disable the paging file. However, if you're determined to turn it off in an effort to reduce wear on your SSD, here's how you can do it. Just click on OK and it will be disabled. I have 8 gigabytes on this machine, so I will not disable it myself. Also, enable write caching. Enabling write caching can improve the performance of your SSD, but it can have both positive and negative effects depending on your usage and setup. Write caching allows data to be temporarily stored in a cache before being written to disk, which speeds up write operations. However, it also increases the risk of data loss in the event of a power failure or unexpected shutdown because data might not have been written to the disk yet. That being said, enabling write caching could theoretically improve performance and extend the lifespan of your SSD by reducing the number of write cycles, but the trade-off is a higher risk of data loss. If you're willing to accept this risk and ensure you have a backup solution in place, enabling write caching can be a good move. Make your web browser store cache on RAM to extend your SSD's lifespan using the SoftPerfect RAM Disk app. Using SoftPerfect RAM Disk to store your web browser cache in RAM instead of on your SSD can indeed help reduce wear on your SSD and potentially improve the performance of your browser, since RAM is faster than an SSD. Storing your browser cache in RAM eliminates the need for frequent writes to your SSD, which can extend its lifespan. First, you need to download and install SoftPerfect RAM Disk from the official website. After installation, reboot your machine and then launch the app after your machine reboots. Choose a size for your RAM disk. For browser cache, you don't need a large amount of space. Usually 1 to 2 gigabytes is sufficient, depending on your browser usage. Assign a drive letter, for example R: or C:, and click OK to create the RAM disk. Now, you need to redirect your browser's cache location to the newly created RAM disk. To do this, download the SoftPerfect Cache Relocator app. SoftPerfect Cache Relocator is a free portable utility designed to move your web browser's cache to a different location, such as a RAM disk. By relocating the cache to RAM, you can reduce write operations on your SSD, potentially extending its lifespan, and also benefit from faster cache access speeds. Click the Move button, then choose the RAM disk that you created earlier. RAM disks are volatile. Data stored in them is lost upon shutdown or restart. This is acceptable for browser caches, but not for data you wish to retain. Ensure you have sufficient RAM to allocate space for the RAM disk without affecting system performance. By using Soft Perfect Cache Relocator in conjunction with a RAM disk, you can enhance browser performance and reduce unnecessary write cycles on your SSD. Enable Trim. Trim is a feature built into Windows 11 that helps maintain the performance and lifespan of your SSD by letting the operating system know which blocks of data are no longer in use. This helps the SSD free up space and maintain its speed. If Trim is not enabled, your SSD will wear out faster because it won't be able to manage unused data properly. If the response is 0, Trim is enabled. If it's 1, Trim is disabled. To enable Trim, run this other command. Keep your SSD firmware up to date. SSD manufacturers release firmware updates to fix bugs, improve performance, and optimize lifespan. Updating your firmware is a quick and easy way to ensure your SSD is performing at its best. To update your SSD's firmware, visit the manufacturer's website like Samsung, Crucial, or Western Digital. Download their SSD management software and check for updates. It's a small step, but keeping your firmware updated can make a big difference in terms of both performance and longevity. Don't fill up your SSD completely. It's tempting to use all that available space, but SSDs need some free space to operate efficiently. If you fill your SSD beyond 75 to 80% capacity, you can slow it down and wear it out faster. This is because the SSD has fewer cells available for writing and erasing data. To check how much space you have left, simply open File Explorer and right-click on your SSD, then choose Properties. So make sure to leave some room for your SSD to breathe. Your SSD will thank you in the long run. Also enable Storage Sense in Windows 11. This built-in feature automatically cleans up temporary files and optimizes your system, helping to reduce unnecessary writes to your SSD. By setting up Storage Sense, your system will automatically keep things running smoothly without you having to think about it. So there you have it. By following these tips, enabling Trim, leaving space free, avoiding excessive writes, using Storage Sense, and monitoring your SSD's health, you can significantly extend the lifespan of your SSD and keep your PC running smoothly for years to come. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more tech tips, and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Have any questions or want to share your own SSD tips? Drop them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.